do 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 do, baby shark. Mommy shark, do 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 do. Mommy shark, do 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 do. Mommy shark, do 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 do. Mommy shark.
Welcome to the first episode of Open Face Chinese Poker with Happy River. I'm going to share with you the way I play this game, and I must add that I am not a professional. I might make mistakes here and there. The reason is to have a platform to share with you guys what I do, why I do it, and hopefully you guys could give me your comments and ideas to help me improve. So I hope you enjoy the videos. So here we're playing 20 blinds. It's actually about $7 per point. Pretty big for my bankroll. And we're playing the ultimate mode. Yeah, we're going for the flush. There's only one spade showing from his hand. Yeah, so I suppose you're familiar with what the different modes mean, but I'll go through them a bit later. So we got the flush in the middle, good for 8 points. That's $56 in the bank. That's pretty good. And we scoop him, I think. Do we? So in ultimate mode, you always want to get aces on top if you can. Jack 9 can improve to like a straight hand, and we have position to see that he is not showing any hearts. I think we'll go for the heart draw, even though the Jack is an overcard, but I think the hearts are really live, and we could put a 5 in the middle, but I just want to keep the middle open. I could improve to a 2 pair trips or even a straight hand because of the flush below. So I think I'll put the 5 on top, depending on what he does. So you're always in position, even though you have seen your cards. It's always better to see what your opponent does before you do it. Because let's say if you put a 5 there and suddenly he shows 5-5, you're basically putting a dead card. But of course, you get quads in your hand. Doesn't matter what he does. It's already a given. Alright, we got flush and trip jacks in the middle. That's great. Just need an ace. The ace would be great. And he's kind of busting himself with the 2 weird flush draws. And he does bust. No ace, but the scoop is still good. And he ran. So I'll show you where I play this game. It's an app called PP Poker, and the club is called Asia Union. It's pretty big. They have like Hold'em, PLO, and of course Open Face. About 60 to 70 tables a day, 24 hours a day. So pretty fishy, I would say. And here we're playing progressive mode. Yeah, in normal mode you definitely put aces in the middle and hope for kings or queens on top. But in progressive or ultimate mode, you always want the extra cards in fantasy. So I think with the deuces, yeah, and we get a good flush draw, 8 to come. I think that's a good bet. If you see on the side, you can actually see how many clubs, spade, hearts, or diamonds are left. So yeah, sorry, we're going for the diamond draw. Yep, we could go for the 2 pair. Oops, I don't know why I didn't put the ace 8. Alright, the 2 pair, still the 2 pair. And now we just need a middle pair in the middle to get aces fantasy. King should be live, because if anyone has a king or ace or queen, they usually already put it up. So, well, we didn't get a king, but we got the queens. Still good for 2 pair aces. Oh, He's got kings, so not a huge win. But we're getting one extra card in fantasy compared to him. Trip queens, trip tens. If only we had another 5 or another heart or another deuce or jack, then we would have re-fantasy. But looks like full house is the best way to go. You could argue like trip tens and jacks on top is easier to scoop, but I'll take the 12 points in the middle any day. It's taking a long time, so it's usually a good sign if your opponent takes a long time to think about his fantasy. Or he probably is in fantasy land thinking about something else. Oh man, such a pretty hand, and we still lost. Okay, so like situation like this, I see a lot of people playing the 8s in the bottom and going for the 9-3, yeah, something like this. But the way I play, I would put the smaller pair in the middle and overcards in the bottom. Because I don't quite get this strategy unless you improve to trips or quads. Otherwise, it's kind of weird for me. But I know a lot of guys do that. So if you're one of them, maybe you could share with me, what's the reason behind it and why does it work, and yeah, help me to improve my game. So the 3 is very live, and running kings and running queens seem unlikely, so we can always hope for a full house in the middle, or even pair of 5s on top is not bad. And we do get our full house, another 12 points. And he passed, great. And another similar situation, we've got jacks here, but this time the jacks is an overpair to the 10 and 7. So, and you can improve to full house or quads on the bottom, and you still can get straight, even flush in the middle. So this is how I would do it. But if you had queen 10 jack 7 7 instead, I would play the 7s in the middle. But I've seen a lot of people do queen 7 7 on the bottom and jack 10 in the middle instead. So yeah, I'm not sure why they would do that. I could go for the 5 for a very ambitious flush draw in the middle, but there's already one 5 showing and there's a lot of space showing, so 4 is a better option, I think. The great thing about OFC is that I think there's like no wrong move. It's only better moves and not so good moves. But it's so hard to argue which is better because there's so many combinations in this game. But I don't know, I feel that there are people still making mistakes on this game. I do sometimes too, and I'm sleepy. Yeah, I could have put the ace on top to hope for aces up top because there's already 3 kings showing, but I have nothing in the middle. 10 7 4 is already showing by the other guy, so I'll go for the safe route. And we still can get king 7 king 10 king 10 king 4 for a good, pretty decent fantasy. I call this hey, 10 is good. I call this knocking on fantasy store. Alright, so we can put the 8 up for a live card, but there's no queen left and there's only one jack left, so it's really hard to improve the bottom, and we can still get running aces or a running middle pair to get some extra royalty up top. So I went and put the 8 on the bottom. Sorry, what was I saying before? Yeah, so we're tracking the cards. 9 seems very live. We can get running aces or even just a king. Oh, and I would have gotten my full house, but never mind. K-Lom looks busting. Looks to be busting. 3 clubs left isn't that great, and it doesn't should bust too. Yeah. Oh, we missed out on 12 points, but that's fine. So you always want to be knocking on fantasies. Oh man, he got it. Yeah. So I'll just shorten that to call it knocking. If you're knocking by the second draw, you're in the very, very good spot. Yeah, let's try him. That's for getting your fantasy. Well, yeah, usually I'm not a sore loser, but he was almost dead. Like he needed like 2 outs to get his fantasy, and you often see that too, like 1 outer, and he hits it, and you got 7 outs, and you miss everything. So another situation like this, well, fast and loose, I assume, has 5 and 3, but we kind of have no choice but to play it this way. Using his clock, he must have a king, and he's like thinking, oh, what should I do? I'm scared. He probably is, or I don't know. Fast and loose, not that fast, my friend. Oh yeah, he showed an ace. He probably did have ace. Yeah, they're showing a king. We could put the aces in the middle and hope for kings on top, but yeah, I think we'll go for the safe route because he's blocking our 5s and 4s, and we can still get a good pair of kings up top, and that would still be sweet. Putting the aces up top is pretty risky in this situation because the 5 and 3 isn't as live as we would want them to be, and we get the 5. But so we're now knocking, so king queen king jack, and we'll get our fantasy with 2 draws to come. That's pretty good, and you always want to have as many combos as possible to get there. Fast and loose is knocking 2, 7 8 deuce 8, 2 pairs, and king would be nice, and he gets there. Oh, this is gonna be costly. And a re-fantasy. Ouch. So we're playing by ourselves. Well, in this situation, I think I'll go for. There's so many combinations that you can do, but because we're the only one out of fantasy, I'll go with the safe route and go with the 3 hearts. King on top still good, but Jack 8 we can improve to a straight draw, but in this case, oh, this is tempting. This is very tempting. Now the problem with when you're playing by yourself, you have no extra information at all. Hey! But seeing that both other guys are in fantasy, you always want to go for it. Or at least go for royalty points. Otherwise you'll be scooped really bad. And it's really hard to recover from these kind of spots. Dun, dun, dun. Come on, Kilum. Is it really that hard? And he only has 14 cards. He probably has a really bad fantasy and he's thinking, why? That's not bad. Okay. So usually, I don't know what to do here. Yeah, so if you guys are interested in playing in this club, you can also contact me and I'll share with you like how to join and stuff like that. You can always follow me on Instagram, Happy River Poker, or my blog, happyriverpoker.blogspot.com. And yeah, I have a lot of stories on my travels playing poker in the different countries that some you may not have. Well, I guess you have heard of, but yeah, I take that back. Yeah, so I'd love to hear from you guys. Drop me a comment or subscribe, that'd be great. So I don't know why PB Poker allows you to see your opponent's hands while in fantasy. It's kind of an advantage to the guy in fantasy, but if you play often enough, I guess it kind of evens out. So many cards and we still can't get re-fantasy, but it's a decent hand. Not great. We should have queens up top. 7 more points. I think that's the best we can do. Yeah, so since we have that advantage, we should wait and see what the other guys do, and sometimes it can be the difference of scooping the guy or not. So we're definitely scooping both guys here. So 13 becomes 19, and 19 times 2 is 38. That was a good win. Would have been nicer if we had refan. So you can click on the guy and add a color or a note like fish. Plays really slow for his nickname, but and I use blue obviously for fish, even though sharks swim in the water too, but let's tag them both. But yeah, it makes it easy for your game selection. Like sometimes you see 2 sharks on the table, you're like, There are players that play really, really bad. I'll tell you that. They would put a full house in the middle, like praying for something to happen at the bottom with only 1 card showing. So, yeah, we have a pretty shitty draw. They both block our outs, but I guess over cards to over. smaller cards. That's the way to go. It's really hard to improve this hand to something huge, I would say, because we're blocked everywhere, straight blocks and pair blocks. But it's good that we have position, and that's okay. And queen on top, I think, will be fine. In this hand, I'll be really happy with like aces in the middle. That's good enough. I'm not expecting much. So if I do get an ace, it's definitely going in the middle. So fast and deuce, I kind of cornered himself into a position where he has to play two pairs in the middle to get anything big up top. And it has to be smaller than nines. Oh, okay, so I do have that situation as well. It's the exact same situation. I would hate to make my middle, like my bottom eights and sevens, but I don't know. Yeah, well, this hand didn't start off well anyway. I don't think sevens in the middle is going to be good enough, but doesn't look like the other two guys will get anything big anyways. Yeah, so he's kind of painted himself into the corner. If he gets like 10-10, he's stuck. So he needs to hope for small cards, which seem to be all out already at the moment. So yeah, I see. So the 10 is irrelevant, and he needs a running pair smaller than, or nines is lower, which is really tough. As you can see, all the cards are already on the board, so if he doesn't bust, I'm gonna be really pissed. So I'm gonna end the video soon, just to give you guys a sniff of what I'm planning to do, and I hope to post more videos in the coming weeks. So please subscribe and follow if you like what you see, and drop us a comment if you have any questions, anything you'd like me to cover, the differences in the different modes, stuff like that. I'll be happy to. So I appreciate any feedback you guys have for me. Oh, by the way, yeah, that song in the beginning, it's a children's song, obviously, but it talks about sharks, and it lingers definitely. So I'm trying to spread that to you, and hopefully it'll get stuck in your head, and you remember me. Yes, I am evil. I can go for ace king on top or ace in the middle. That one deuce is showing, but the tree is still live. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I could have done ace king on top, but I'm playing it a little bit safe. We already clicked the exit next hand button because we are cutting this video. Oh, okay, good decision, I guess. And we could put the 9 on the bottom for an extra pair draw. The 3 nines left, but yeah, because we could have like a better pair up top, like jacks and tens. Okay, so now we're knocking with only one draw to come, but 10-9-4 looks very live. Why is it taking so long? Why did you have to take so long for that? I don't get it. Then we pass. That's an easy decision. Trip checks in the middle. Anyway. So thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll hope to have a few more episodes up soon. Please leave a comment, any questions, any suggestions. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you, and see you next time.
It's the end. It's the end. It's the end.